Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabrakatah, all the brothers. Shalom. Yahweh Shemal Athabah Shem Yahweh Shad, all the sisters. We're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. And what we teach is that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel according to the Bible. And we are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. If it is not of the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, it is not of the Most High. You understand? All right, no sweat out. If you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat. Shalom, Brother Thomas. Like I said, if you got any questions, make sure you type them into the chat. Shalom, Officer Kazak Shapar. And again, congratulations on passing your officer test. You understand? It's a major thing to take up the work of the Lord, man. You understand? Shalom, Brother Trey Davis. Shalom, Sis Shara. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to, it really ain't doing too much. Just sitting there. I kind of like to see the screen anyway. You want to read? Oh, you got a sword? You got any water bottles or anything on this? You know?
There's like some juice and there's some brews.
Son Christ. So today we're gonna be talking about voting. It's a hot topic right now. You know, all these Democrats, you know what I mean, got all these Christians, panties and all kinds of bunches. You understand? They talking about Bernie Sanders going up in the polls, and I don't even know who running for president. You got Bernie Sanders, the lady with the glasses, the other white guy, crazy. The water hot. Like I said, if we got any questions, go ahead and type it into the chat. If we got any Christians, go ahead and let us know who you voting for. This is the law class, Wednesday night law class. Sometimes we bring out history, but this is the Wednesday night law class. And, of course, what we're going to do is everybody going to be voting for president. Is it this year they vote for president? So is it next year? It's 2020?
Yep, 2020.
That don't make no damn sense. How you gonna change? How you gonna change? What kind of company change CEOs every 4 years?
Right. Right.
It don't even make sense to me. You know.
Mm.
You know, I hear black folks, Hispanic folks all the time. Every time I talk to them, they talking about Bernie Sanders and like, and who the hell is these people? Like Bernie Sanders look like a damn child molester. You understand? I don't know if he is a child molester or not, but he looked like that dude. What's that devil name? Woody Allen.
Woody Allen kind of.
Yeah, you know Woody Allen is a child molester.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But you know, we're gonna go into it today. You know, we're gonna see what the Lord say about voting, or you know, if He says anything about it. You know, we're gonna get into it today. Sister checked in all the way from Little Rock, Arkansas. Hey, Shalom, big up Little Rock. Tune in to South Carolina class. Most High in Christ. Alright, we're gonna give it just a little bit more time. Alright, so we about to get into it, you know. Alright, like I said, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat. Alright, Shalom, Sister Adrian out of Charleston, South Carolina. Shalom. Alright, so again, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. And what we teach is that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, according to the Bible, according to history, according to archaeology. You understand? We don't get up there and say that just because it's something that we feel or that we think. You understand? The scriptures say to prove all things. You understand? The ISUPK has consistently proved since 1969 that black people, Hispanic people, and Native Indian people are, in fact, the lost 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
You understand? We're not Africans. You understand? We not Americans. We not none of that. We not Mexicans. We not Puerto Ricans. You understand? We none of that. You understand? We are Israelites. We are the children of Israel. You understand? And the children of Israel, you understand? Just like America, America has a way of choosing its leader. You understand? America has a way of enforcing its laws. America has its laws, has a constitution.
Right.
You understand? America has its own history. It has its own customs and culture. You understand? Has its own holidays and things like that. But here's the deal. This is how you can tell as a black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. You understand? Let's see, give me 1 second here. You understand? The thing is that you understand? We during the time where the Constitution was written, we were black people. You understand? Black people were in slavery. You understand? During the time that we was electing presidents, people was electing presidents while we was in slavery. You understand? And they was voting based on policies that kept you in slavery. You understand? So these are the customs of America. You understand? America was founded on slavery, on murder and slavery. America is what you call a progressive nation. Progressive meaning that they are always looking for ways to grow that empire.
Right.
You understand? To make more money, to gain more power. America is a progressive nation. You understand? Progressive, in order to gain power in this world, you have to murder.
Right.
You have to invade countries. You have to bring down dictators. You have to dismantle governments. You understand? Drop nuclear bombs. You understand? That's how the world works today. You know what I mean? So, all of these customs and things like that black people get so caught up in, you understand? You're being led astray by your Christian pastor.
Right.
You understand? These Christians, they love politicians. You want to know why these Christian pastors love politicians? They love politicians because that's who's cutting them the check. That's who helping these churches get grants. You understand? Who get these grants to go and buy, build on, take half the money and build onto the church, and take the other half of the money and go build a mansion, out there in the sticks somewhere and call it a church resort. Like what's that brother's name that he's the brother that he was getting investigated, interrogated by the IRS. And they was like, what about these Louis Vuitton belts? He was like, oh, well, he was like, I sweat through my suits all the time. I was like, take your sodomite behind on somewhere, man.
I think that was a pastor up in Detroit, I think.
Right, I think it was in Detroit.
If I'm not mistaken. Let me see.
And he had built a mansion talking about it's a church resort.
Yeah.
It's a resort. A resort. They're like, yeah, did he call it a resort? It was like a retreat. Retreat center. Churches love them retreats. All type of orgies go on in them retreats.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
I know this dude's name. Here it is. If I could, sir.
Go ahead.
His name is Pastor David E. Taylor.
Pastor David E. Taylor. You understand? That was a pastor right here in Anderson. I can't remember the brother's name. But he was that pastor that was going hard for Donald Trump, talking about he graduated from this college and that college and all this and that. And the brother was from right here. He was like in Easley or something.
Mm-hmm.
His father has a church in Anderson, but this brother had it really wasn't a church. It was really like a building, and he had a camera and a green screen, and he was taking hundreds of thousands of dollars from people all over the world watching his TV broadcast. I can't think of, but he ended up getting exposed by the people people out with it, like talking about he never graduated, never went to this school, never was in the Army Reserves and all type of madness. You know what I mean? And the thing is that what a lot of people don't realize about a lot of these Christian pastors is a lot of them are con artists.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Not only are a lot of them con artists, but these politicians is their silent partners. You understand? That's why you think you always see black Christian pastors huddled up behind politicians. You understand? Meanwhile, they huddled up with all these politicians. Meanwhile, they getting richer in the neighborhood they churches is built in, get poorer and poorer. You understand? Drug addiction get worse and worse. Prison sentences get longer and longer.
Right.
You understand? But yet these bastards is getting richer and richer. You understand? By the day, being hand in hand with these pastors. Hand in hand with these politicians. Mm-hmm. You understand? Meanwhile, like I said, when America started voting, where was we at? We was on them plantations.
Right.
And guess where them Christian pastors was at?
Mm-hmm.
They was too busy. They was out here trying to get us to love the man that just hung our brother.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get us to love the man that just raped my wife. You understand? Trying to get me to love the man that just took my kids and sold my children to 3 different plantations all throughout the South. You understand? But I got to love this bastard. You understand? I got to vote for this bastard. You understand? I remember it was a long time where black people wasn't even allowed to vote in America. You understand? We wasn't even allowed to vote. But here's the thing, black man. You know, I know you like to think voting changes things, and we like to think we did something when we voted for Barack Obama and Barack Obama became president. But here's the thing. You voted for Barack Obama, and what did that get you? You understand? What did Barack Obama do for black people?
Right.
You understand? What did Barack Obama do for black people? Barack Obama didn't do nothing for black people. You understand? But so if you want to look, if you as a black man, if you want to look for leadership, if you need leadership, because we clearly need leadership. You understand? That's the part that trips me out is you got brothers out here to say I don't follow man, but yet they'll go out here and vote for president. Vote for Barack Obama and I don't follow man. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't serve man, but yet you voting for your president. You understand? You loyal to your president. You know what I'm saying? But here's the deal. We see brothers in the UPK getting brothers off of drugs, getting brothers out of prison, getting brothers out of gangs, saving them from lives that would otherwise destroy them.
Right.
You understand? But yet you look at us like we these disgusting creatures just because we won't love the man that you would kill and die for. You understand? Just because you love the man that murders your brother. You know, we the monsters. Meanwhile, he's the murderer. But we the monsters. We need to get a job. You understand? So here's the deal, right? We're going to show you in the Bible what the Lord thinks about you casting your vote this year. You understand? While you stand in that line, waiting in all them lines with all them Edomites that's standing around looking at you like, what are you doing here? You understand? How many black people running for president right now? Are there any black people running for president right now? You understand? I know Republicans is like, man, Trump gonna win. We don't even need to step up. You know what I mean? Democrats, they arguing over, you know, they throwing everybody else dirt out in the open. Like, yeah, I did that, but you did this. What's the other dude name? What's his name? Bloomberg.
Yeah, come on.
The one that he the one that implemented the stop and frisk law, right?
Right, come on.
Mayor Bloomberg running for president, and he on here. He talking about he apologized. You seen that?
Mm-hmm.
This devil said he apologized for stopping frisk. I'm sorry. You understand? Meanwhile, he destroyed a whole generation of black people and Hispanic people in New York State or New York City. You understand? Destroyed a whole generation of them because of stop and frisk. You know what I mean? Granted, brothers, you know, if it's illegal to carry a gun, you shouldn't carry a gun. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be on drugs and deal with drugs and things like that. So, stop and frisk shouldn't be something that affects us. Unfortunately, we live in a world where brothers and sisters are being oppressed so much so to the point where they turn to these illegal activities just to feed their own children. You understand? Just to stay out of jail. They commit crimes to stay. Ain't that something, Mardaki? We in a conundrum, committing crimes, trying to stay out of jail, and end up in jail anyway. You understand? And guess what? Black people voted for Bloomberg. He wouldn't have became the mayor talking about stop and frisk if black people and Hispanic people didn't vote for him.
Right, come.
You understand? That's where your vote gets you. Your vote gets you oppressed.
Right.
You understand? So here's the deal, right? Baba Kashar, if we could, I want you to go to Deuteronomy chapter 17, Baba Kashar. Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15, Baba Kashar.
Come. So, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee.
Salakia, give me 1 second.
Come.
Start at verse 14, Baba Kashar.
Come. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 14. When thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me.
And shall say what?
I will set a king over me.
Just say it one more time.
I will set a king over me.
You understand? So black people, Hispanic people, Native Indian people, we're about to read the instructions. If you yourself were to decide, you know what? I do need leadership. We need somebody to lead black people. You understand? We need somebody to stand for black people. You understand? To organize black people. You understand? So that we can get whatever it is we need, so we can be protected, so we can be safe, so we can have the things that we need to survive, so that we can stay out of prison.
Right.
You understand? So that we can stay off drugs, so that we can keep our family structure. You understand? So here's the instructions. This is what the Lord says to do. If you decide that you want to put a king over you, you understand? If you want to select your leader, he's about to show you how to do it. You understand? Read on.
Come. Like as all the nations that are about me.
Do it. Read that again.
like as all the nations that are about me.
You understand? And guess what? All the nations of the earth have leaders.
Right.
You understand? China has a leader. Russia has a leader. Africans have leaders. The French have a leader. The Italians have a leader. You understand? So if we choose to have a leader as well, you understand, then the Lord's about to tell us how to do it. Go ahead.
Verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
Whom you choose.
Whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
Whom the people choose.
The Lord thy God shall choose.
Who the voting algorithm choose.
The Lord thy God shall choose.
So let me ask you a question. Which one of these politicians did God choose? Did God choose Bernie Sanders? Did God choose Donald Trump? You understand? Who else is black people, is people voting for? Let's look up the Democrat, I don't even know what they even call it, Democratic candidates. Let's look up and see who the Democratic candidates. Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders. Did God choose Joe Biden? Is that someone that the Lord chose? All right, let's go down the list. We're gonna go down the whole list today. You know, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden highest in the polls. You know, he got, 566 whatever's delegates. I don't know. He more than likely going to be the Democratic presidential candidate.
Right.
Did God choose Joe Biden? I almost called him Joe Budden. Did God choose Joe Biden? You understand? What about Bernie Sanders? You know, did God choose Bernie Sanders? Is that who the Lord chose? You understand? What about Elizabeth Warren, Michael Bloomberg, Pete? I don't know. Booty. I don't know. The list goes on. All right, so we got one brother, but I don't think he even in the runnings. Deval Patrick. He got 0. You know what I mean? Tulsi Gabbard. So it's looking like it's going to be either, you know, according to the people, Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders. You know, did God choose either one of those? You know, how do we know? You know, we haven't finished reading. Let's go ahead and read on. Let's find out if the Lord chose Joe Biden or if he chose Bernie Sanders. Let's read on.
Come. One from among thy brethren.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Read that part again.
One from among thy brethren.
One from among thy brethren. What does that mean? What does it mean to choose a king who is one from among thy brethren? What does that mean? Does that mean, is Joe Biden one of our brethren? What about Bernie Sanders? Is that one of our brethren? You understand? He don't look like he come from the hood. You understand? He don't look like his father went to prison for child support. You understand? He don't look like his brother got shot unarmed by the cops.
Right.
You understand? Joe Biden don't seem like neither one of those to me either. You understand? So it say if you want to choose a king, if you want to choose a president, whatever you want to call it, the first criteria is it got to be somebody that the Lord chose.
Right.
You understand? Someone that the Lord chose to be the king. Not someone that you choose. Not someone that you come together and vote for. You understand? Because here's where voting, this is where voting has got black people. You been to Atlanta? When the last time you been to Atlanta? A couple months ago. You know what I mean? You ever heard of Midtown Atlanta?
I haven't.
Well, you don't want to hear about Midtown Atlanta. You understand? Midtown Atlanta is like the sodomite capital of the world. It's the second capital of the world. You understand? That is what voting has done for black people. You understand? Voting has gotten us killing our babies. It's got men turning into, I don't even like to say turning into women, because they're not turning into women. Right. They just mutilating their bodies. You understand? And being allowed to do so and being protected. Meanwhile, there's no protection for someone who wants to harm you because of the color of your skin. There's more defense. If you was a sodomite, there is more defense for you in America as a sodomite than it is for you as a black man. You understand? Like, what's that dude named, the brother, Jesse Smollett?
Oh, yeah.
You understand? The LGBT community rallied behind that brother. You understand? And black people did not. You understand? And a lot of the LGBT communities, you know, they was talking trash about black people. They was like, man, y'all don't support this. You got to support this man. He's a black man too. Blah, 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 blah. But black people knew them facts ain't adding up right there. Right. You understand? But the point is, the whole world cared when a sodomite got beat up in Chicago. The whole world cared. You understand? But nobody cares about the brothers getting murdered in Chicago. Every day. There's a brother laying on the ground right now, bleeding to death right now in Chicago. Right now. You understand? Nobody cares about him. But yet this sodomite gets beat up in Chicago listen, I've never been to Chicago. I heard the winters were treacherous. You understand? First of all, who is going to be outside at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean, looking for gay people to beat up in Chicago? You understand? Them facts wasn't adding up. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. The Lord said if you're going to set you a king over you, it got to be somebody that he chose. You understand? Why does he say somebody that he choose? Because the Lord know better than us. Right. You understand? The Lord know better than us. If he let us choose, we gonna choose whatever caters to our lust. That's what we gonna choose. You understand? We're gonna choose whatever caters to our lust. You understand? We're gonna bring a king in that's gonna let us smoke weed. We're going to bring a king in that's going to build a couple strip clubs in Jerusalem. You understand? But the Lord said, if you're going to set you a king over you, it's got to be somebody that I choose. Right. And you wanted to be that way. You wanted to be a king that the Lord chose. Why would you want an evil king over you? You understand? Why would you want an evil king when you can have a righteous king? Right. You understand? Why would you even want an evil king over you? Not only that, but it also say it got to be somebody from amongst your brethren. Why would you want to be ruled over by a king from another nation? Right. You understand? That's like if we playing basketball, it's the NBA Finals. I'm the Lakers, you the Celtics, or you the Bucks, and you say, nah, I don't want to be coached by the Bucks coach. I want to get coached by the Lakers coach. The Lakers coach gonna coach the Lakers and our team, and we gonna win this championship. Mm-hmm. What you think gonna happen? He gonna be like, all right, fellas, just stand there, just stand around, right. Look stupid. All right, good job. All right, Lakers, go pass it, shoot the three, dunk on them. They ain't doing nothing. Right. You know what I mean? That's how they think about it. Do it make sense when you looking at basketball? It don't make sense. You understand? So why are we out here voting for all these people that's all these other nations? You understand? We got 2 Edomites running for president in the Democratic. Let's see who the Republican candidates are. I didn't know Bloomberg was a Democrat. You know, that whole stop and frisk, that just sound like some well, I don't think Republicans are gonna have candidates because Donald Trump is currently the president. It wouldn't really make sense for them to be like, you know, the hell with Donald Trump. Joe Biden, he up in the polls because he was so-called with the black president. The so-called black president. Man, Barack Obama pulled an okie doke on black people. You understand? He ain't even us. You know what I mean? In there with a Judite sister as his woman. You understand? Up there smiling and giggling and laughing, signing all type of policies for sodomites. You understand? Now, one black leader stood up and said, hey, President Obama, how about we go ahead and dismantle child support while we at it? How about we go ahead and get some road paved in the hoods all across America so we can get them potholes out the hood? Right. You understand? How about we go ahead and invest a little bit of money into these black schools so we can get a little more education to our black students? You understand? How about we go ahead and cut this check to the ISUPK so they can just raise up the whole nation of Israel? You understand? Right. Ain't nobody, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody doing nothing like that. Ain't nobody, well, maybe they did. You understand? But guess what? Barack Obama didn't give a damn about that. He got in the White House, and the only thing he seemed to care about was the sodomites, in my opinion. Right. You know what I mean? That was the only thing he cared about. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's that. That's what voting got us. And guess what? It seemed like more black people was getting killed by the cops with Barack Obama in office than was getting killed before he was in office. Right. And then it was so many black people getting murdered. You know what I mean? Like, you the president of the United States and they ain't said nothing. Ain't said that what happened to Trayvon Martin was a travesty. What happened to Mike Brown, I ain't gonna put up with that. All y'all cops fired. You understand? You the president. And that right there let you know that man was not our brother. You understand? That man was not our brother. Even LeBron James give a damn about Trayvon Martin. Right. You understand? Colin Kaepernick gave a damn about Trayvon Martin. Right. You understand? But I'm sure the purple cats love Barack Obama. Right. You know, he probably part of the tribe. Probably invited him to the Passover. You understand? Read on in that scripture.
Come. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee.
Read that again.
Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee.
It says, thou mayest not set a stranger over thee. What is a stranger? What does that mean? What does it mean to be a stranger? Somebody in the chat, go ahead and answer that for me, Baba Shah. What does it mean to be a stranger? Stranger danger. Mm-hmm. What does it mean? What does it mean to be a stranger? Someone in the chat, go ahead and throw me an answer in there, Baba Shah. What is a stranger? Scripture says, thou shalt not set a stranger over thee. It said, so what is a stranger? If you don't know, just guess. What is a stranger? Anybody know? All right, so Officer Kazak Shapar says, someone who is not of your people. Absolutely. That is correct. That is what a stranger is. You understand? Someone who is not of your people. Someone who is not a black man or a Hispanic man or a Native Indian man. You understand? So here's the deal. You know, when it comes to selecting a king, we going through the criteria. The first thing is it got to be someone that the Lord chose.
Right.
You understand? Guess what? The Lord didn't choose Joe Biden. How can we automatically assume he didn't choose Joe Biden? Because the very next instruction says it got to be one from amongst our brethren. You understand? So Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders is both X'd out the equation because neither one of them is from amongst our brethren.
Right.
You understand? Guess what? Barack Obama was not from amongst our brethren. Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? The Barack Obama, yeah, he was darker skinned than me, but that don't mean nothing.
Oh.
You understand? He was darker skinned than me, but you know what? Barack Obama didn't give a damn about the brothers and sisters that was getting murdered on his watch. You understand? Brothers and sisters was getting murdered on his watch. You understand? All right, so go ahead and read on.
Which is not thy brother.
Read that again.
Which is not thy brother.
All right, read the part just before that.
Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother.
You understand? It says, thou shalt not put a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. You understand? So in the context, Kazak Shapar, you're all right. Sometimes stranger does mean, sometimes the word stranger does mean someone who it can mean someone who does not know the laws of Israel, who doesn't keep the customs. It can also mean a brother that is an Israelite that you just don't know. Like how brothers will how brothers will travel from city to city in the ISUPK. You understand? We meet brothers all the time that we don't know.
Right.
You understand? And so with that being said, but in this particular scripture, the context of what it's talking about for stranger is talking about nationality. It's talking about one from among your brother. You understand? Give me 1 second now. All right, so give me 1 second here. All right, so those are the criteria when it comes to choosing a leader. Basically, you don't choose your leader. The Lord chooses it.
Right.
You just let the Lord know, hey, Father, if you could, Baba Shah, you can go ahead and set us up with old king, we'd be good to go. Then the Lord gonna choose the king. And it's gonna be someone from amongst our brethren.
Right.
And it's not gonna be someone from another nation. You understand? 1 second here. So all this voting stuff that we got going on, here's the deal. Give me go to Deuteronomy 28 and 1, Baba Shah. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 1. You got it?
I'm ready when you are, sir.
Go ahead and read it out.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
What does it mean to hearken diligently? What does that mean? What does it mean to hearken diligently? And more specifically, what does it mean to hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord? Anybody in the chat want to take a crack at that? I'm asking an easy question tonight. All right, so listen carefully. That's part of it. You know what I mean? To hearken diligently. Listen carefully as part of it. I'll give you a hint. The answer is in this scripture. I give you a hint. Exactly. Kazak Shapar spot on with that. You understand? One second. Kazak Shapar, you spot on with that. You know what I mean? He said, listen carefully and to perform exactly. That's a good answer, Hot. You understand? That's what it means to hearken diligently.
Right.
Go ahead and read on.
Come. Unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments.
To do some of his commandments.
To do all his commandments.
You understand? Guess what? Choosing a king that is not of another nation is one of his commandments.
Come.
You understand? Choosing a king that is another nation is unlawful according to the Most High. That is a sin. To go out here and cast a vote for Bernie Sanders is a sin before the eyes of the Lord. To go out here and vote for Joe Biden is a sin before the eyes of the Lord.
Right.
You understand? To go out here and cast your vote for Donald Trump, because there's some black folks that vote for Donald Trump.
Right.
There's some black folks that love Donald Trump.
Come.
You understand? You go out here and you vote for these devils, that is a sin before the eyes of the Most High.
Come.
Guess what? When you voted for Barack Obama, you committed a sin before the eyes of the Most High. You understand? Puff Daddy had a huge campaign when Barack Obama was running for president.
Right.
Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, it seemed like every rapper in the world came out for Barack Obama. Even Jeezy. Young Jeezy dropped a song. He dropped it before he even became president.
Right.
I remember hearing the song Jeezy dropped, "My president is black, my Lambo is blue, right. And I be goddamn and the rims ain't too." Right. You understand? So black people rally behind this bone eating, doodle sniffing Hamite.
Right.
You understand? They rally behind him, and guess what? That was unlawful. That was a sin before the eyes of the Lord. You understand? Go ahead.
If I could, sir, I mean, like they, I believe their slogan was like "Vote or Die."
Right.
It's like, man, you know, I mean, like that slogan is just so, it's really messed up. You know what I'm saying? Because we going against what the Most High has has for us, and we're going with their ways. Well, meaning our oppressor. And of course, it says vote or die, but it's like, man, like we're already dead as a nation,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So why would we vote to die? You know what I'm saying? Like we shouldn't be voting at all. Like, I just want that sir.
Hey man, that's real heavy what you brought out. You know what I mean? Vote or die. Join the white man or die.
Come.
Join this society or die.
Right.
You understand? That seemed like the mark of the beast right there.
Come.
You understand? The image of the beast. Bow down and worship, you know, whosoever shall not shall be put to death. You understand? And so here's the deal, man. Puff Daddy basically told black people to get down with America or lay down. Get down or lay down. Either get down or lay down. You understand? Vote for Barack Obama or die. And guess what? We voted for Barack Obama. And guess what? Trayvon Martin died.
Right.
Michael Brown died. What's the brother's name? Walter Scott died. Eric Garner died. All these brothers died while he was president. You understand? Died on his watch. Sandra Bland died. You understand? Guess what? We voted and we still died. Should have changed that shirt to vote and die. You understand? Matter of fact, we should make us a shirt say vote and die. Cause that's what's gonna happen. Look what happened when black people voted for Donald Trump. We died. So guess what? We're gonna vote for Joe Biden. Guess what's gonna happen? We're gonna die. Black people gonna die. You understand? All right, shalom, brother Jordan, checking in out of Sumter, South Carolina. You understand? Most High in Christ. If you got any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat. You understand? So we should definitely do that. Get us some old vote and die shirts. You understand? Because that's what's gonna happen. We go out here serving these other nations, man, putting them in positions of power to rule over us. Man, you think these devils is gonna thank you for it? Man, these devils ain't thanking us for it. They murder us for it. Think about it when we was integrating with America. What was our oppressor doing to us as we was trying to integrate? They was busting us in the head with rocks. You understand? Shooting us down in the street. Hanging us from trees. We walking peaceful protesting. They spray us with the fire hose. Fire hose, them things are kicked with so much pressure that they'll knock you off your feet. You understand? Like, you ever seen the movies where somebody trying to get away from the cops, they running down the steps, and they hit the fire hose and turn the water on, the fire hose and come up that whole stairway like an anaconda, knocking people out of windows. Mm-hmm. You understand? Because and guess what? Guess what? We voted for that. Right. We followed Martin Luther King. Because Martin Luther King, please let us vote for you, Mr. White Man. Please, we just want to eat in your restaurants. Right. We don't want to go and eat Keisha's chicken no more. We so oppressed. You understand? We so oppressed as black people. You know, we were oppressed. But at the same time, we had our own. Now, guess what? We are still oppressed. And we do not have our own. Right. And what's the difference? Back then, we wasn't voting. We wasn't voting for nothing back then because we couldn't vote. But now we voting. You know what I mean? Now we voting. And guess what? Ain't nothing changed. Right. Ain't nothing changed. You still got segregation. The only difference is now our oppressor got more control over what's supposed to be ours. Right. You understand? Because guess what? You go to Anderson, you got the black school, you got the white school. You understand? Now you might have some black folks go to the white school, and you might got some white folks go to the black school. But everybody know that this is the black school, this is the white school. Right. Everybody know. You understand? This is the white elementary school, this is the black elementary school. Right. And you go to the white schools, all the black kids getting in trouble all the time. Stay in ISS. I used to go to ISS for nothing. I went to ISS for raising my hand one time in class. that was crazy. That blew my mind. I'm like, clearly, I have made the wrong choice in life.
Right.
You understand? I got ISS. You know, ISS is like in school suspension, where they basically make you sit and look at a desk all day. You know what I mean? You're supposed to do handwritten. Nobody ever did that. You know what I mean? 3 days ISS. It was like jail. Like they prepping you for jail.
Right.
Prepping you for prison. Getting expelled is like going to prison because you end up going out. You end up having to go to alternative school. You understand? It's like they just prepping young black people for prison. That's what they did. You know what I mean? We don't. To obey, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And guess what? If we don't vote, the Lord said He gonna set us on high above every nation on the face of the earth. If we don't vote, all we gotta do is not vote. Separate from America.
Right.
Stop celebrating the holidays. Stop smoking weed.
Right.
Stop smoking cigarettes. Stop sleeping with white women.
Right.
Definitely stop sleeping with them Chinese women.
Oh, weed.
Yikes. Yikes. They saying not brothers. They say there's some cats in Greenville that might have the coronavirus. You know what I mean? And they don't have it. There's no confirmed cases, but it just go to show you, man, these Moabites is retarded, man. they as dumb as a box of rocks. How you gonna know that this is a quarantine zone? People in here is zombies. It's World War Z. It's the Walking Dead out here. And you show up hopping off the plane like, oh, it's Chinese New Year. Like you got a New Year, yo, behind. Back to where it's safe at. You understand? Like, come on, man. Like all these Moabites went over to China for the Chinese New Year. Come back, and a lot of them was going. I'm telling you, man, I don't get the Moabites. I don't understand it. You know what I mean? They remind you of a hard-headed woman. When you be like, don't pay that mechanic that money. Bring that car back to the house. and then she come back like, where that $1,500 at? I paid it to him. Like, what you pay the mechanic for? It need a spark plug. You understand? You got a flat tire. Why you pay him all that money? You understand? That's what Moab remind me of, like a dumb, stupid, hard-headed woman. You know what I mean? They just like, man, they like, damn the coronavirus. I'm going to China. I'm going right there in the city where the corona at.
Right.
You understand? If I catch it, I catch it. So be it. You know what I mean? That's Moab for you right there. Read on. Read that last part again.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Now here's the deal. Now, of course, before segregation, before we was given the right to vote, of course, how can I put this? If left alone, I personally believe if left alone, black people would have eventually ruled the entire earth after slavery.
Right.
If left alone. It's destiny. Because we went and built Black Wall Street out in the middle of the desert. And was stinking rich. You understand? We went and built cities like Rosewood, you understand, and many different black cities all across America, and was getting rich and were completely separate from the world economy.
Right.
We getting rich off of our own economy. You understand? It's a lot. So left alone, black people, we'd have ended up on top.
Right.
It was inevitable. I mean, think about it. You know, our oppressor don't even know how to cook a steak all the way.
Right.
You understand? If he could eat raw chicken, he would. I promise you. I promise you. Am I lying, Marty? Am I making this up? You understand? And guess what? Moab ain't no different. He take a live frog and he won up Esau.
Right.
You understand? Esau eat it raw. Moab eat it alive. Eat it alive.
Man.
Like that right there just turned my stomach when I seen that. I was just about to eat when I seen that. I put my food right in the refrigerator. You know what I mean? Straight in the refrigerator. I'm going to just save this till I forget about what I seen.
Right.
You understand? The brother, dang, I keep wanting to call him a brother, but the Moabite you seen that video? The Moabite took the frog. He took the frog out the tank. Didn't rinse the frog off or nothing. Took the frog out the tank, head first in his mouth, and just bit the whole frog head off while his legs still kicking and everything. I was flabbergasted when I seen that. You understand? But I tell you what, I almost applauded when I seen the octopus get his get back. But I didn't finish watching that video. But I heard the octopus eventually lost that battle. You know what I'm talking about?
Tell me.
The Moabite was trying to eat the octopus alive, a big octopus. It wasn't no little octopus.
Right.
This thing was about like this, like leg span about like that. Like this thing could have smothered that woman, and she'd have just sat there and suffocated on Facebook Live. You understand? Like I seen I tell you what, I seen a video one time. I know it's a sidebar, but there was this devil that jumped in the ocean. And he jumped out the ocean. And he's running around shaking his head. And everybody like, what the hell is going on? The devil had a jellyfish stuck to his face, cutting off all his wind. And the devil woman walked up to him and said, oh, I got to pee on him. Peed on him, and apparently the rumor is it's supposed to immediately stop the burning for a jellyfish. And that did not work. That is a myth. That video right there proved that is not accurate. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, these devils out here, these heathens, the Lord got something in store for them. You understand? And guess what? It's going to come to them in all the ways that the Lord warned us about. As in, the Lord gave us a dietary law. You understand? He told us what foods is clean, what foods is unclean. And guess what? Every animal I did, let's look up and see how many, we still talking about the law. Let's look up and see what kind of animals carry coronavirus. Let me look that up. Let's see what animals carry corona. Probably every damn animal carry coronavirus. So apparently it's just a couple animals. So this particular strain, they think came from a pangolin. It kind of looked like an armadillo. You heard that? Yeah, they saying they've been figuring this thing out. So apparently, like a bat took a dump, and an armadillo ate it, and somebody ate the armadillo.
And that's where all this came from? That's what they saying, sir?
Yeah. Or somebody touched a bat, because you can catch it by touching it. That's wild right there.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, you can catch it by touching it. That's why my rib ordered something from China. Right as this thing broke out. She was like, "My lord, the package showed up in the mail." I said, "Well, you leave that thing outside." To put it up under the car, matter of fact. Make sure don't nobody touch it. You know what I mean? I told her, leave it there till further. She said, "How long you want me to leave it there, my lord?" I said, "Till further notice." You understand? And
man.
You know what I mean? So I told her, leave that thing outside. Ain't taking no chances. But so pangolins and bats. Pangolin, like I said, is like an armadillo. Who looks at an armadillo and think to themselves, that right there looks scrumptious? Or who looks at a bat? A bat. Like, good night. And then you see how they look when they cook them? Them things don't even look like they from this earth, Arch. Them things look like something that crawled up out of a Martian cave somewhere. Them things look like something, something the Lord was like, you know what I mean? The Lord was like, I meant to leave them on Mars. But they there now. Them things don't look like nothing else on this earth. A bat. And Moab, and here's the deal. Moab thought, some Moabite thought to himself, this looks scrumptious. I'm going to eat it. Probably ate it raw. Probably ate it alive while it's still flapping. The thing trying to eat him and he trying to eat it.
Oh, that's nasty, man.
You know what I mean? These Moabites are something else, man. And see, the dietary laws, the law says bats is unlawful.
Come.
Pangolins is definitely unlawful.
Right.
You understand? And you got so many people talking about, especially Jake, that they'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna eat my swine. I don't care what the Bible say." And guess what? You got Jake that's gonna go out here this year and say, "I'm gonna vote for Joe Biden. I don't care what the Bible say." And guess what? The Lord said, if we keep His laws, He's gonna set us on high above every nation. Where are black people today? Where we at? Where are we at on the ratings of nations on the earth? Who represents black people at the table of nations at the United Nations? Nobody. Means we at the bottom. We're at the bottom. You understand? We're at the bottom because we choose not to follow God's laws. You understand? God said, if you're going to choose a king, let it be from among our brethren. If you're going to choose a king, let it be someone the Lord chose. If you're going to choose a king, it absolutely 1,000% better not be someone of another nation.
Right.
You understand? That's like I give you an example that has nothing to do with the Bible, nothing to do with what we talking about, right? So you seen the Marvel movies, right? So here's the deal. I like reading about business decisions that these big companies make and stuff like that. So Marvel, Salakia, Thomas Brown, which scripture are you talking about? You talking about the one we just read? I think the one we just read, that's Deuteronomy 28:1, right? It's Deuteronomy 28:1. It says to keep God's laws, and He's going to place us on high above every other nation. Is that the one you're talking about? All right, Most High in Christ. So yes, go ahead.
I was just gonna go back to as far as the household income per race.
Go ahead.
I got like a list of them, sir.
Bring it out.
If you don't mind. So Number one is the Indian race and their medium household, and this was according to back 2016. Theirs was 128,000.
In America?
Count, sir.
So Esau ain't the richest man in America?
Sir.
Good night.
And then
Esau mad at the black man talking about black people are taking over the country. They so worried about black people. Meanwhile, it's them Edomites. But you know what? I believe it. Let me tell you why. Because even in Anderson, it's Edomites that own almost all the hotels in Anderson. And them hotels in Anderson make millions when football season hit. I know because I used to work at a hotel. I used to do a night audit. And I remember my first year doing night audit, like towards January, February, March, June hit. I'm like, damn. I said, how did this place afford to stay open?
Right.
Like, I know everything that we pay, because like to have a Marriott, I could be a little off on the numbers. But if you got a Marriott hotel, you got to pay $10,000 a month just to have the name Marriott on the building. You understand? And I think in about from January to June, I think the hotel made about $200,000, which is not a lot of money.
Right.
Because you got about 20 salaries you got to pay. Then you got food, power,
right.
and then $10,000 a month. That's $60,000 just in having Marriott on the building. And so when football season hit, they jacked the price up to about $200 a night, sometimes $300 a night, and that thing fill up a year in advance almost. And just in football season, I think the one I worked at made $20 million just in football season. Between August and December, they cleared $20 million. Just one hotel. So I believe that these Elamites is really eating like that. You know what I mean? And guess what? That's something. Oh, good night. Thomas Brown says some hotels $500 a night. I believe that. You know what I mean? We went out to Clemson looking for a camp spot, and there's a hotel right across from the football stadium. It's called like the Clemson Luxury Hotel, and I bet that place is about $2,000, $3,000 a night. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more than that. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? A lot of these hotels, that's where they make all their money, especially around here. You know, in Anderson, ain't much going on in Anderson but Clemson. You know what I mean? So, them hotels making millions. And all them Elamites come together and get stinking, funky, nasty rich. And still smell like underarms. You make all the millions of dollars. And you still smell like underarms and curry powder. Ought to be ashamed of yourself. Go ahead and read on that list.
And then we got the East Asian.
Good night. The East Asian. Where is Esau on the list?
Number 3.
Good night. The East Asian. That's like the Moabites. Moabites, Koreans, and all them. What's their numbers?
So,
they selling all the chicken in the hood.
Right. 85,000.
85,000. That's per person or per household?
The median per household, sir.
Median per household. So Moabites per household making about 80,000. That's not really a lot of money. You know, for say if you got two people, a man and a woman, making about $40,000 a year. That's 80,000 a year. That's really not a lot of money. But you know, but that's their average, and they number 3 on the list. Go ahead.
And then we got the Middle Eastern. They're right at 56.
Okay.
And then Hawaiians right at 50,000. The Hispanics is right at 46. And they got the Alaska Natives right at 39. And then blacks is right at 30,000.
Good night. who's under blacks?
They only get at list 1 through 8, sir. On this one.
You see that right there? The Lord said if we keep God's laws, we was going to be above every nation. And guess what? You know, it's just ironic that we breaking God's laws and we are below every nation. If we just look at just strictly finances, just strictly dollar for dollar. Now, of course, Hispanics and Native Indians is our people. But dollar for dollar, black people are at the bottom of the totem pole. We're at the bottom. We at the very bottom. And guess what? Hispanics ain't too far. How much you say they making every year?
46.
46. That's what? $16,000 more a year per household. You understand? We at the bottom. 46,000. You cannot raise. You can barely pay your rent. Making $46,000 a year. You can barely. That's like your mama and your father making $15,000 a year. You understand? That means the average black man doesn't even have a full-time job. That's like part-time paycheck. The average black family don't even work, don't even have full-time jobs. You understand? Go ahead and read that scripture for me. Matter of fact, drop down to verse 15, Baba Shah.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So hold up. So here's the deal. You want to buck up against the Lord, right? You want to say, man, damn that, I'm voting for Joe Biden. Joe Biden got my vote. Damn that, I'm voting for Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders got my vote.
Wow.
You understand? I don't even understand what black people want to vote for Joe Biden for. Or Bernie Sanders. What is their policy? You know, everybody got something that they pushing. What is Bernie Sanders pushing? I hear a lot of black people talking about Bernie Sanders. What does Bernie Sanders got going on? Let's look it up. Bernie Sanders policies. I'm scared to even look it up. Click on one of these links because, you know, they can be saying anything. All right, here we go. Bernie Sanders. The political positions of Bernie Sanders are reflected by his United States Senate voting record. Whatever, blah, blah, political economic philosophy. Describes himself as a democratic socialist and an admirer of aspects of social democracy. So he's a socialist. He's one of those people that want financial redistribution. Basically, he wants to take wealthy people's money, poor people's money, lump them all in a pot together and pay them all the same. No matter what you do. If you're a doctor or an NBA player, you get paid the same amount of money. That's what Bernie Sanders wants. He want equality. That's what he want. He want equality. Oh, you a doctor? You a brain surgeon? $500 a week. you the star quarterback on the championship team? $500 a week. Yeah. Thomas Brown. He said, isn't he about 80 years old? Yeah. Bernie Sanders look like he about to croak any minute. He look like he about to croak. He look like he can barely even talk up there on stage. Like his lung about to fall out of his teeth. Like, didn't somebody's teeth fall out their mouth? I think it might have been Hillary Clinton's teeth fell out of her mouth. Or maybe she just passed out. I remember seeing that. She passed out like Wendy Williams. Go ahead.
Bernie Sanders, he's 78 years old, sir.
Hey, what's it? 78? Good night. That man older than dirt. Talking about being the president. You understand? So he's a socialist. I don't even understand why black people even vote for that.
Right.
Let's see. In an address on his political philosophy, an economy that works for all, not just the very wealthy, reforming the political system, which Sanders says is grossly unfair and in many respects corrupt.
Right.
Recognizing healthcare and education as rights, protecting the environment, and creating a vibrant democracy based on the principle of one person, one vote. What? And creating a vibrant democracy based on the principle of one person, one vote. I don't get it. One person, one vote is a slogan used by advocates of political equality through various election reforms, such as universal suffrage, proportional representation, or the elimination of plural voting. Oh, well. I don't see how none of that is even relevant to black people.
No, sir.
Let's see, academics. Assistant Professor of Political Science states that Sanders' platform is not socialist and is better described as welfarism, reminiscent of the 1950s that aims to regulate rather than to replace capitalism. Goldman notes that Sanders does not advocate public ownership of the means of production, nor does he seek to abolish the profit system, both of which Goldman considers to be defining characteristics of socialism. So basically, Bernie Sanders is a liar. You know, he's just saying stuff that sounds cool. He's pretending to be radical, and he's just like everybody else.
Right.
You understand? Because black people, guess what? We already got welfare getting shoved down our throat. What Bernie Sanders is talking about doing is basically all the little tricks and things that the government did to destroy the black family. He's talking about multiplying it all the way across the board for black people. That's what Bernie Sanders is trying to do. You understand? Because he's not trying to stop capitalism.
Right.
Because you're either socialist or you're a capitalist. That's basically how everything works. You're either a socialist or you're a capitalist. Bernie Sanders is a capitalist, but he's trying to force people on welfare. You see what I'm saying? So he says they're not trying to destroy capitalism, they're trying to regulate capitalism.
Right.
What does it mean to regulate? Regulate, who you think going to end up getting hit with all the regulations? Guess what? The same people that get hit with all the gun regulations.
Right.
You understand? We live in a state right here, you can open carry an AR-15 down the street. But if you black and you get pulled over one of your car, there's an illegal gun charge. You understand? Unlawful carry of a firearm. You understand? Or if you don't happen to know the law. You understand? Now, if you happen to know the law, you might can get out of that one. Because the law says, you know, this South Carolina is an open carry state for rifles. You know, so if you are legally allowed to possess a firearm, meaning you're not a felon. You know what I'm saying? But in South Carolina, it's a lot of brothers that go to prison just because they didn't know the law. Straight up. Like, it's brothers I knew that's in prison right now just because they didn't know the law. You understand? So, here's what Bernie Sanders is trying to do. Bernie Sanders, the same way welfare went to the black woman and was like, hey, you know, you got the child, you know, we're going to pay you this money, you know, blah, 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 blah. We're going to cut you this welfare, but you got to get your husband out the house. You know, we can't pay you this money if the husband's still here. You know what I mean? If you don't need welfare if your husband here. You understand? So guess what? There are still black people out here who still follow after the capitalism and go get their slaveries and stack their money and work hard to keep their families together. Bernie Sanders is talking about taking that away. He's talking about taking away the only thing that's keeping black families together. You understand? And forcing something that is going to dismantle black families across the board.
Right.
And Hispanic families. He talking about, and it's making me sick now. The more I think about it after reading that, it's making me more sick now because he had the nerve to get up there and talk about the Hispanic brothers and sisters at the border, talk about immigration reform. Meanwhile, if he get elected president, he gonna turn around and do the same thing with welfare. He gonna rip families apart. You understand? See, these devils, man. This is why the Lord say, if you're gonna choose a king, you need to be someone that the Lord chose. The someone that the Lord chose ain't gonna be talking about socialism and capitalism. This man talking about that's why all these Democrats be calling him out about that socialism, because he trying to dress it up like socialism, and he trying to catch on with the what they call the left organizations like the Black Lives Matter and all these so-called leftists and all that. All of them is socialists. You know what I mean? He trying to catch on with them. They too stupid to understand that we live in a capitalist world, meaning you got the product, he got the money, time to make some money. He talking about stripping that away and regulating it. Right. He's talking about regulating how much money you make. Meaning that, and here's the thing, I don't know what type of policies he's talking about, but I can tell you this much. It could be illegal to walk around with certain amounts of money on you if Bernie Sanders become president. It might be, he might do something black people love, like legalize weed or something like that. Get us addicted to all type of drugs and then shove welfare down our mama's throats. You understand? And with all that, then, with all that, after shoving all the drugs in the community, they're going to shove welfare in the black community. If Bernie Sanders become president, I don't even understand. I hear a lot of black people talking about Bernie. I didn't even know what he stood for till just now. You understand? That's why the Lord says what he says. That's why he says that. He says that for a reason. Because someone that the Lord chose is not going to seek to destroy black families. You understand? He's not going to seek to shove more welfare in black hands so that we can be more destroyed. Because here's the deal. Black women, this is going to be natural. This is going to be the normal life for black people in America if we vote for Bernie Sanders. Right. Now, I'm not saying vote for Donald Trump. I'm just talking about Bernie Sanders because I looked up his policies. If we vote for Bernie Sanders, then based on his policies, black people, our lives is going to go from getting to slavery, meeting a woman, getting married, having kids, living that long life, to meet a woman at the club, smack her down, get her pregnant, end up on child support, in jail, while she getting a check from welfare to go out and find another brother to get pregnant by. And we're going to have brothers in prison, left and right. You understand? You see, brother said, I have many friends that smoke weed. I tell them to stop and they don't listen. No sweat out. If your friends want to smoke weed, let them smoke weed out. Right. You stop smoking weed. You understand? And just focus on doing the things that you have to do so that you can be raised up in this truth. And then you can be trained to deal with your friends properly and be a beacon of light for those brothers to lead them to a lifestyle where they don't have to smoke no more weed. You understand? You come up in this truth out and you become a priest and prophet of the Most High, you're going to do things that you never thought possible. Right. You're going to get them brothers off that weed. You understand? And a lot of times, a lot of your friends, I'm going to go ahead and bring this out. Oftentimes, a lot of your friends that's in the world, they love that weed. They love them cigarettes. They love them hoes and the white girls. You understand? And you trying to come into the truth. You trying to change your ways, and your friends ain't gonna like that. They not gonna like you hearing, stop smoking weed. Weed is this and da 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 da. They're not gonna want to hear all that. So what you're gonna start to notice, brother, is you're gonna start to notice that your friends is gonna start slowly. They gonna do one or two things. They either gonna cut you off or they gonna come in the truth.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen. Family too. Your family as well. Your mama. Be prepared for that one. Your mama might wake up and say, "Boy, you in a coat. You don't call my phone till you leave that coat." You understand? Sometimes your mama might be this super Christian with the hat on every Sunday. Can't, you know what I mean? And love sweet baby Jesus. You know what I mean? Long as she got King Jesus. And you're going to see that your mama, the one you thought would never turn her back on you, your mama will turn their back on you.
Right.
You understand? Your woman that you come into the truth kissing on every day, your woman turn her back on you. You understand? Don't worry about your friends out. You know what I mean? If they want to smoke their weed, let them. You know what I mean? You just focus on doing what you got to do to make you so you get yourself right. You understand? Because, like, you know, you don't want to run into the danger of trying to get a brother to stop smoking weed and still be sleeping with white women. You understand? Because then you're gonna look like a hypocrite to your friends,
Right.
and then they not gonna have no respect for you. You understand? So you wanna be careful of that, you understand? But you know, if they wanna smoke weed, hell, let them smoke the weed. Shit, you know what I mean? Excuse my language, so like it. You understand? But just be mindful, like that. You know, when these is brothers and sisters, they in the world. You know what I mean? They gonna do what they want to do. They gonna do it because that's all they know. You understand? And here's what you're gonna want to do. You know what I mean? You know, before the class is over with, I don't know. Do you have the camp leaders number in South Carolina? If you don't have the camp leaders number, stay tuned, Doc. I'm gonna make sure that Mardakia gets you the camp leader's number, so that what you can do is you can call and get counsel. Just get counsel, Doc. You know, you always want to get counsel and all those things. That way you can make wise decisions. You understand? Because you know the last thing we want you to do is to be jammed up. See, is weed a sin in general or just smoking it? Okay, that's a good question. Weed, okay. Of course, you want to get counsel before you go and try to indulge in some marijuana. You understand? Here's the deal. The Lord created everything for our sake. You understand? He created poison ivy for our sake. You understand? I don't know what purpose poison ivy serves, but there is a purpose that poison ivy serves for black people. You understand? So weed in general is not unlawful because marijuana is a medicine. It is used to treat illnesses. You understand? So that's why you got brothers and sisters all across America that have real illnesses, and they take cannabis or weed as treatment for those illnesses. Now, the smoking of weed to get high, you got some people that are just dope fiends that smoke and consume marijuana just to get high. That is unlawful. You understand? Smoking weed, the act of smoking the weed that is the worship of another god. You understand? And what I can do is, we're talking, the class is on voting today, but what I can do is next Wednesday, I'll do the class on weed smoking and give you the full breakdown on marijuana. You understand? But that is a good question. You know, weed in general is not unlawful, but smoking weed is unlawful. You understand? Consuming weed just to get high, and you know when you're doing it for an illness, if you got cancer, you understand? You know when you're doing it for cancer, and you know when you're doing it just to get high.
Right.
You understand? And doing it to get high is unlawful. You understand? Because I remember one time I heard Commander Jenny Hanna break down that marijuana was meant to be brewed like a tea and to treat pains and things like that. And, and it's a medicine. You understand? Just like cocaine. Cocaine at one point in time was a medicine.
Right.
It was used by the hospital. You used to go to the hospital and they'd stick cocaine in you. They used to do that. Cocaine used to be in Coca-Cola. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
That's why they call it Coca-Cola. You understand? Cocaine used to be in Coca-Cola. You understand? So a lot of these drugs, as a matter of fact, a lot of the drugs that people take to get high start out as medications, treatments and medications. Like lean. People drink lean, but that is a medication. I'm not certain what kind of medication, like what's it for. I'm guessing it's for pain or something like that, but that lean, that promethazine, brothers drink that with Sprite, call it dirty Sprite, be in the club. You know what I mean? Have passed out, standing up. Mm-hmm. You understand? That is unlawful. You understand? But if you are someone that needs has an illness that is treatable with marijuana, what you should do is you should call the nearest captain in the ISUPK to your city, and you should get counsel. You understand? Don't just start picking up the weed and just start like doctor said I got a headache. You understand? That ain't how it works. You understand? Don't start just puffing on the weed. And then another thing too you got to think about is that breaking America's laws is unlawful.
Right. You
understand? Speeding is unlawful. Punching people in the face is unlawful. Let's see, what else is unlawful? What other kind of laws that I'm thinking? Buying marijuana from your homeboy on the corner. That is unlawful. That is an illegal act. You understand? Possession of a firearm, if you are a felon, is a sin according to the Most High.
Right.
Because according to the law, according to the white man's law, it's unlawful for you to possess that firearm. You understand? So now, if you happen to live in a state where it is legal for recreation, which I don't think there are any states that have it legal for recreation, then that means that it is unlawful, because that is merely to get high. You understand? Now, if you got like a cataracts or something, and you know what I mean, something like that, or some type of skin condition, like I've heard of cannabis oils treating eczema and things like that. So, there's tons of different ways marijuana is medicinal to the human body. It's a medicine, no different than an aspirin or an aloe vera plant. You know what I mean? It's not, the purpose of it is not to get stoned out of your mind, you know what I mean, and talk about nothing and eat corn chips all day. That's unlawful. You know what I mean? And it's also the act of smoking drugs to get high is, like I said, it's the worship of another god.
Right.
When you go into look up the Hindu religion, you have these shamans in Hindu. And if you look them up, you'll find that they got dreadlocks and all that. You understand? This is why Rastafarianism, they smoke weed as part of the worship within Rastafarianism.
Right.
You understand? When that right there is them, they are worshiping another god. You understand? Really, that is nothing but Hinduism with nappy hair.
Right.
That's all that is. You understand? Because that whole custom of the dreadlocks and all of that comes from East India. And in East India, these shamans, now their dreadlocks, black people we got this new wave where they showing people how to clean their dreadlocks, and I done seen people clean the most filthy, disgusting things out of them dreadlocks. Like, have you seen that? There's this brother clean. I think they said he cleaned 5 pounds of dirt out of his hair. 5 pounds. You pick up a 5-pound bag of dirt. That's heavy, That ain't light. Pick up 5 pounds of dirt off the ground. That's a lot of dirt, all in your hair. You understand? That's bacteria and mold, and 5 pounds of it, and bugs. And sister asked me, "Oh, you got dreadlocks?" Man, get the hell out of my face. I ain't never get no funky, nasty dreadlocks. Like, dreadlocks aren't nasty. You ain't seen the YouTube videos I seen, sis. Shalom. You understand? They got them little vinegar washes that they doing now. They washing people dreadlocks out, washing out years of dirt. Years of dirt. Can you imagine taking a shower and washing years of dirt off of the crack of your behind? You understand? Imagine going to prison and just not taking a shower for 5 years. You're going to smell something horrendous out. You understand? But in that Hindu religion, what that custom is, those are ones with that red dot on their forehead. That red dot, you know what that red dot means? You don't know what it means? Anybody in the chat know what that red dot in Hinduism means? Let's think about it like this. These Hindus, we like to think this Hinduism and all these foreign religions is so holy and all this and that, man. These Hindus are some filthy. Now I understand why East Indians walk around smelling like armpits and curry powder. You understand? Because they are filthy and disgusting. They are disgusting. These heathens are disgusting, period. Moab eating everything with a pulse. You understand? Spreading the Zika virus, spreading the zombie virus. You understand? All across the planet. If a zombie outbreak was to ever happen, it'll start in China. Go ahead,
Somebody, I was looking it up. Says I believe it's called the Bendai. Is also it's said to be the third eye in Hindu religion, and it can be used to ward off bad luck.
All right, so that's what it's called. All right, so I'm gonna break it down for you in a way in nigga terms. I'm breaking it down for you in nigga terms. All right, so here's what a nigga seen when I watched the video of them worshiping that Hindu stuff. So check this out. This is coming from a nigga. This is straight out the nigga mouth. All right, so check this out. I'm watching the video, right? When they have their services or when how Christians go to church on Sunday, they go to do whatever the hell they do on whatever day. So their God that they worship is a woman. I think his name is Mithra. I believe the goddess's name is. I don't know. I just know it's blue with a whole bunch of arms. Mm-hmm. All right. So it's a woman, got breasts and everything. So when you walk in their temple or whatever, they have the little blue hole with all the arms and the titties out. And then she's sitting up there with her legs spread. And in between her legs, they have all this red powder just thrown up there in between her legs. I'm not joking. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I'm gonna have the time to find it. But me being a nigga, I see a woman statue with bright red powder in between her legs. I'm like, that's supposed to be period blood. That is box blood. That is box gush. That's what that is. that is the time of the month. That is her flower all over that statue right there. That is metaphorically her flower. Right. All right. So now, and I'm not making this up. This is what I seen. Because this is before I came into truth. When I seen this. I seen this and was thinking in my head, oh, they're so holy. They got the dot on their head. They're so religious. I'm in the world thinking that they just holy. And I'm watching this video and I'm like, they so holy. I wonder where they get the red dots from. Soon as I thought that thought, wonder where they get the red dots from. Because none of them, they were walking in the temple, none of them had their dots.
Right.
I thought they wake up every morning and like, boop. You know what I mean? I'm like, boop, boop, every morning. Like they got a little thing that they, like a stamp. I'm thinking they got the stamps by now for the stamp dots. Nah, this is what they do. This is how they get down. So they walk up to the statue, they bow and pray to the statue, and then they take their finger, they put their finger right in between her legs and get the little red dust from right in between her box and put boop. So it's supposed to symbolize the period blood of their goddess. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, at least in nigga terms. That's what I seen as a nigga looking at the statue of the woman with her legs spread and the red powder all in between her legs. You seen it? Did you find it?
Let me see here.
I would like to show that to the class. Let me find this. See, that's the thing. Like, that's why I can't watch stuff like that because I don't even know what the proper word is called. So I can't even tell you how to Google it. Yeah, let me see. Hindu period blood. I'm just gonna type that in. Period blood forehead. I'm gonna type that in.
Oh shit! I think I found it.
I mean, you got all these different meanings that I'm finding. Third eye, all this garbage. I don't know. You got to see it. Let me see. You got this. Hold up. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so it don't show them. It don't show them with the. All right, that's not really a good pic. That ain't as good as the one I seen. Yeah, it ain't as good as the one that I. It's just there was a document. Here we go. Ugh, look at this. Oh my God, I can't even look at this. Look at that right there.
Ooh, Kanye.
You see that?
Yeah, that's the same one I seen.
That's the one you seen? Let me see if I can show. Oh snap! Hold on. Let me see if I can show this to the class. Let me see if I can show this to the class. Look at this, class. Look at that right there in the middle. Look at that. They see that? They walk in the temple and that right there, that thing there, right there. That's what they walk up to and put their little finger right there. Boop. Hey, that was all I cared to know. Once I seen that, I'm like, what in the hell is going on with these East Indians? What kind of religion is this? You know what I mean? But that's what's going on. That's all. I don't know what the hell they say it mean. I don't know what they say it symbolizes and what kind of whatever it mean. All I know is, but here go another one. All I know is they got statues with the red. They put the red powder. That's red powder, and they sprinkle it on the statue in a way to make it look like her menstruation overflowing out of the box all onto your forehead. You understand? Salakia for the graphic images. You understand? I know Israel, we are holy people. You understand? But this is real. I wasn't making this up. We in the truth, Hop. Let's see. I don't want to look at this one. That's gonna give me nightmares. I gotta go look my rib in the face and fix her headlight after seeing that. You understand? But that's what that red dot. That's what that is. When they go in that little temple and they see that little statue with the red powder all over it, they touch the thing, and then they boop, 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 boop. That's what it is. Blew y'all mind today, didn't I? You understand? Hey, you know, I hate that we didn't get to go into all the voting scriptures, but you know, we would do. You know, I just wanted to go ahead and just bring that out about the whole weed. You know, that tied into the weed smoking, because these people here, these Hindus, they worship that god, that goddess, with the little blood period juice on their forehead, and then they smoke opium in worship of that period blood dot on their forehead. They smoke opium and get high, and they live filthy and disgusting. They eat raw decomposed flesh. Their goal is to live as filthy as possible, because they believe that the filthier that you live, the closer you are to God. Because obviously that is a filthy God that's sitting up there with the legs spread, with the period ketchup. And here, look at this Edomite kissing it. I ain't gonna show the class this. I'm not even gonna show the class this. We're gonna get banned off YouTube. Look at this. Now this is disturbing. You know, I'm gonna show the class this one last picture. This is disturbing. See, here they go burning incense and holding up cups to the period blood. You understand? This is real. I'm not making this up. You understand? And they're the ones who we get the dreadlocks from, who we get the smoking of the drugs and the getting high from in a religious manner. That's where we get all of that from. You understand? Getting high is a custom of the other nations, not of the Most High. Voting is a custom of the other nations, not of the Most High. You understand? With that, I'll pass the class over to Preaching Officer Mark.
ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, starting out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18 verses 21, and Malachi chapter 3 verses 8 through 10. It means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation. We have Purim. It will be held here in Greenville, South Carolina at 39 Baxter from 7 p.m. until, so that's 39 Baxter Street here in Greenville, South Carolina, 29607. And we'll be going to the story of Esther, but it falls in on the 14th day to 15th date of the 12th month. You can find this on Saturday, March 7th and Sunday, March 8th. And this is Esther chapter 9, verses 20 through 31. Remind occupant off-wall to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, handband, and scarf. With that, shalom.